John Gill's exposition of the entire Bible, verse by verse. Revelation chapter 9, verse 5. Scripture quote, "And to them it was given that they should not kill them," unquote. John Gill quote, "As the power of the locust was limited with respect to the persons they should hurt, so with regard also to the mischief they should do. For even those whom they were suffered to annoy, they might not kill, that is, utterly root out and destroy, so as that they were no more. And thus, though the Muslims killed great numbers in the Eastern Empire, by their frequent incursions and ravages, and made large conquests, yet they could never destroy the empire itself, or bring it in subjection to them, nor did they ever take Constantinople, the metropolis and seat of the empire, though they often besieged it. And as for the western locusts, the monks, friars, etc., though they killed the souls, yet not the bodies of men that are under their power and influence," unquote. Scripture quote, "But that they should be tormented 5 months," unquote. John Gill quote, "That is, not that the locusts should be tormented, but men by the locusts. And so the Eastern Empire was grievously teased and tormented by the Muslims, and many parts of it were conquered, plundered, and pillaged by them, though it was not killed and put an end to. In the year 628, Muhammad with his Muslims, having obtained a place in Arabic Felix to dwell in, died in the year 631. Footnote from the reader: Muhammad never did any writing that was published. That was all put together by people after he died. So the book that Muslims used was not written by him. From which, end of footnote, from which time his successors, the Muslims, little by little, subdued Palestine, Syria, and Egypt, and in the year 640 took Persia, putting King, it's Hormisda, to flight. They laid siege to Constantinople 7 years, but without success in the year 698. Carnage was taken by them in the following times were countries on the continent, and many of the islands were grievously infested and distressed by them. Though the empire itself did not fall into their hands, it was tormented by them, but not destroyed. And the western locusts have most dreadfully tormented men by the exorbitant dues demanded of them, and by obliging them to confessions and to attend Mass, by enjoining them whippings, fastings, pilgrimages, and penitences, and with the terrors of purgatory and the like, from the Catholic. The time that the locusts should torment men, which is 5 months, seems not to design any determinate time, but only that seeing 5 months is the time the locusts live and are in their strength and power, even the 5 hottest months in the year from April to September. This seems to denote that as long as the locusts live, the Muslims in the east and the monks and friars in the west, so long men should be tormented by them, for it is certain that these have had power to torment men longer time than barely 5 months. Yea, even though these should be understood according to the prophetic style used in this book of 5 months of years, or 150 years, and though this should be doubled, seeing they are repeated, Revelation chapter 9, verse 10, and so make up in all 300 years, for both the Muslims and the Romish clerks have distressed men, either of them, longer time than this. Indeed, the flourishing conditions of the Muslims was about 300 years or to 5 months, but their empire or dominion lasted longer, even from the year 622, which was the year of the Hijra, that's Hegira, or the flight of Muhammad, to the year 1057, when the Turks' empire succeeded it, though it was pretty remarkable that from the year 612, in which Muhammad began to preach publicly, and so let out the smoke of the locusts, to the year 762, in which the city of Baghdad was built, when and where the Muslims settled and made no more excursions of any consequence, were just about 150 years or 5 months of years, as Mr. Dubas observes, and I will not say that this is not intended by the prophecy. Noah's flood prevailed over the earth 150 days or 5 months. Genesis chapter 7, verse 24. Scripture, quote, and their torment was as the torment of the scorpion when he striketh a man, unquote. John Gill, quote, which gives pain, is very distressing, and their stings are poisonous and mortal. It signifies how troublesome and afflictive those locusts were. To be among them was to live among the scorpions, as in Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 6. As these locusts are like scorpions, so scorpions have been seen sometimes with wings like locusts, such as one was related by Pausanias, was brought into Ionia by a capital Phrygian. End of John Gill, Revelations chapter 9, verse 5.